A lot of people do research online about how much does it cost to get a divorce and in different circumstances. So the question here is, how much does it cost to get a mutual divorce, or a divorce that's where there's not a lot of litigation pending, or it's kind of in a collaborative sense, if that question makes sense.
Okay. Well, there are minimum costs that are incurred in any divorce, whether you hire an attorney or you don't. Even as a pro se litigant, meaning you filed the paperwork on your own and you cooperated with your spouse in getting that done, and neither of you ever retained the services of counsel, there are inherent court costs associated with the action. The initial filing fee is approximately $200, and that's going to be required in every county in this state. And that's simply to offset the court's resources that are being utilized in order to accommodate your divorce and enter a judgment. There also oftentimes are referrals for third-party services, such as court-ordered mediation related to custody and placement, and oftentimes there's a per-party fee associated to that. Locally here in the Fox Valley region, that service costs $100 per party to engage in court-ordered mediation. There can be times where the parties have an ongoing dispute as to custody and placement that they can't resolve in mediation, and the use of a guardian ad litem, which is an attorney that represents the best interests of the children, may be ordered by the court. Those costs, which are attorney's fees, they bill like any other attorney would, those costs are equally split amongst the parties as well. And there is also something called a custody study or home study that can be ordered by the court if the parties disagree with the guardian ad litem's recommendation after that investigation is complete. That varies county to county, is typically performed by someone from the local Department of Health and Human Services. And so there would be fees associated with that, anywhere from $500 per person to upwards of $1,000 per person. Aside from that, obviously, if you involve third parties, even mediators, not necessarily attorneys, there would be costs associated with that. A low-cost option for divorce with little conflict and mutual respect and focus on amicably resolving the outstanding issues can utilize the services of a mediator and streamline and reduce those costs. Here at Sterling, we provide services of that kind, and typically our costs range from $3,000 to $6,500 based upon the circumstances in your particular case. Now, if you have a contested divorce where both sides are retaining their own attorney, depending on the issues, you can expect to incur costs anywhere from $5,000 per party to upwards of tens of thousands of dollars per party, just based on the types of issues that might exist, the nature of the litigation involved, and how complicated or messy things progress through the court system itself. So I would say, as a general rule, a contested divorce, if you're coming in to retain an attorney here at Sterling, you're looking at average fees for our average case anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000 total. Certainly you may be able to do it for less if the parties are cooperative and can negotiate effectively, but a contested case, at a minimum, we're looking at $10,000 to $15,000 on average.
What are some of those complicating factors that really start ramping up the costs as it relates to, getting into contested issues where people can't agree?
So I lovingly refer to the types of contested issues that might pop up in a divorce as the trifecta, because basically there's three main components that could lead to litigation and a trial in the family courts. Custody and placement, obviously, because your children are of the utmost importance when you're going through a divorce action or any family court action, and that can be ripe for dispute. Property division, namely all of your assets and debts that need to be divided up. Certainly the homestead is obviously a source of friction, and there's usually secondary to your children a very strong concern about your retirement and those assets being preserved because your financial future is at stake. On top of that, the third and, in my opinion, most litigious area of family law is maintenance. Maintenance is also known as alimony or spousal support, and is a very complicated and gray area in the family court system. Because cases are so unique, it really is analyzed on a case-by-case basis, and there are a number of different statutory factors that the courts can consider in terms of determining what length of time a maintenance order should be for and how much that maintenance award should be.
How much does a highly contested divorce cost?
So I would have to hedge this with the notion that no two divorces are the same, especially if we're talking about cases that have high volatility, include the trifecta of issues, meaning custody and placement of your children, property division of assets and debts, and maintenance or spousal support. If those three things are in play and you have a high existing tension point or substance abuse or domestic violence concerns, you're probably looking at something in the realm of $35,000 to $50,000 to get that done. And I don't say that lightly. That's an average, and certainly it could be less, certainly it could be more. But that's typically if you're in one of those high asset and high volatility situations, you can expect that there's going to be a lot of time and money utilized in order to get a resolution through the court system.
Thank you for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and share. Your interaction with our content is greatly appreciated. Visit sterlinglawyers.com to learn more about our firm and meet our attorneys.